Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Today we're headed to Tonopah, Nevada. It is famous for its cemetery and also the Mizpah Hotel. And we're going to also share with you a little bit about the Haunted Clown Hotel. Come along and join us. As we went through Rachel, Nevada, home of one of the gates of Area 51, we found some low-flying aircraft. So let's get right into this and head into the mining district and see what made Tonopah so famous. So Jim Butler discovered silver in Tonopah on May 19th, 1900. He was traveling from his ranch near Belmont. He was going to visit a few friends at Klondike when he made camp at a spring known by local Native Americans as Tonopah. Now the story goes that during the night his mules got loose, and when he found them the next morning, they were standing next to an outcropping of rock that was rich in silver ore. Now it's happened to me more than once when reading stories about mineral deposits and prospectors finding these silver and gold deposits in the stone, that the wandering pack animals, the mules, had a nose for the minerals, and that maybe, just maybe, the prospectors didn't find the minerals in these mountains, but the mules, who were invaluable to those prospectors, had a nose for gold and silver. Funny to think about, but possible. So these mineral deposits were silver and gold, and when they were assayed, they said that Butler had struck it big, and it was valued at $50 to $600 per ton, primarily in silver, but with a significant amount of gold, indicating a fabulously rich deposit. And this area right here is where a lot of that deposit came from. This is the original tunnel that they were in, and this is going straight to where we just looked down, and you can see it here.
I mean, this was the entrance that we came through to the mine originally, and it's exposed now. You can see all the timber and things that they put together to hold that open so the miners could get in there. So they did that so the rocks wouldn't fall and support it. There's a tremendous amount of it in there. Straight down below us.
Really hard to get a good shot of the bottom there, as they had it fenced off pretty good, but that's about as good as I could get it.
This is the hoist house for the main frame, the head frame outside. You can see for the Mizpah mine. It's a big compressor over here. It's like some kind of burner stacks or something there. Big generators, engines. And the pulley systems. These are huge. And the belt that went out the window, or out the slats up there, to that head frame. There's a 1903 compressor that says so right on the side. If it didn't, I wouldn't know, that's for sure. Well, this is the grating over the top of this head frame. Hopefully you can see how far down that goes. It is over 500 feet down to the bottom. One big head frame right there.
So the head frame we were looking at was for the Mizpah mine. Now the Belmont mine was right over the mountain there, and that's where they had that big fire. And we're going to talk about that here in a minute when we go to the cemetery. But before we go, we're going to go ahead and drive by all the miner shacks on the way to the Mizpah Hotel. And we're going to go inside and take a look at the 3rd and the 5th floors. They are said to be haunted, and also the beauty of that hotel. So as we're driving around, you realize that Tonopah's side streets have a tremendous amount of newer homes as well. But in between those, or on those properties, are all of these old small buildings, miner shacks, tool sheds, and things like that. So there's no shortage of things to see in Tonopah. But you got to drive around and take a look at everything. All right, so let's head on over to the Mizpah Hotel. This is one of the first luxury hotels in all of Nevada, and it served as a social hub for the booming mining town. Now, this was a beautiful location, but in 1999, it closed its doors, and it reopened in 2011 when Fred and Nancy Klein of Sonoma, California, purchased the hotel and renovated it. So let's head in and look at what they did. Now, one of my favorite parts of this hotel, well, besides everything, is the vault at the back of the main floor. It is absolutely amazing, and it is filled with a tremendous amount of antiques and items from around town and the hotel. Not to mention that one of the hallways is lined with pictures of famous people and checks they have written. But when you look at the old bicycle on the floor and the old telephones in here and pictures that were taken in the hotel, and still the vault doors are in perfect condition. Just look at the thickness and size of these doors. They didn't want anybody getting in to take what they had. So enough about this amazing vault. There it is, the heavy door. Anyway, enough about that. We're going to head into the elevator and head on up to the 3rd floor. It is said to be haunted by a couple of children that cause a lot of mischief in this hotel. So off the elevator and on to the 3rd floor. We wanted to see what people are talking about, and this is the first time we've been on the 3rd floor of the Mizpah. So I guess these 2 mischievous children are said to haunt the 3rd floor. They're known to play pranks on the guests and are most often seen in hotel rooms and hallways. Multiple guests have reported hearing giggling and, of course, hearing their doors open and shut on their own. Now, we didn't see anything here on the 3rd floor, but it was very quiet and not much lighting, kind of dim as you look down these little corridors where the room doors are. So it did have, of course, that eerie, shining feeling. So I could see where people maybe hear things in the dark.
Okay, we're headed up to room 5. We took the elevator to floor 3. I'm sorry, not room 5, floor 5. So we took the elevator to 3. That was really fun. And now, up again. Floor 5, straight ahead. Now this is the 5th floor, said to be haunted by the lady in red. They say they see her here. I think was stabbed on the 5th floor. So we're just gonna walk up here and look around.
Now it is said that the 5th floor is haunted by Rose, a high-class lady of the night. It says that she met her demise from one of her patrons, if you will. And she is also known as the most popular ghost of Nevada. Now, her original suite is broken down into 3 rooms now: 502, 503, and 504, as most activity happens in room 502. But it is said that if you travel in the elevator, that a lot of people still hear Rose whisper sweet nothings in their ear.
One thing for sure about the Mizpah Hotel is that said to be haunted, but it is one beautiful hotel. And again, this is the 5th floor where the lady in red is said to haunt the floor.
Well, enough about ghost stories. This beautiful hotel is amazing. Let's move on to something else.
The famous Tonopah Cemetery, 1901 to 1911. And I mean famous because it is right next to the Haunted Clown Motel.
Okay, the Haunted Clown Motel. It's very popular, very famous, and very colorful. But I'll be honest, I had to buy the t-shirt. This is littered with clowns and clown collectibles. A lot of people bring them and set them on the shelves, as you're allowed. There is hundreds, if not thousands, of clowns here. And now it has turned into the Clown Museum, and you can walk into this area and it is absolutely free. Now we just had to share this with you because this hotel is said to be haunted from ghosts from the cemetery right next door.
And those are the stories, is that a lot of the ghosts from the cemetery tend to frequent the hotel. A lot of people say that. But this is famous for the burial where the whole town shut down and buried. What I heard is 14 of the 17 miners that were killed in the fire that happened in the mine that took so many lives. And they didn't know how many at first were trapped in the mine, in the fire. They thought the death toll was around 11 on day one. I think it went up to 17. And again, 14 were buried here. I'll see if I can find the famous picture and put it in here. And the looked like a parade going through town where every town member, everything shut down, and they brought them all right here to this cemetery in one large train right through town, a train of people bringing those bodies from that tragic mine fire. So they are here. We're going to see if we can find a few of those famous spots and what's going on right here. That doesn't look good. Now this is Big Bill's plot right here. He died while saving others in the Belmont mine fire, risking his life to save the lives of others.
Now it's said that Big Bill made 3 trips down during the Belmont mine fire to save his men, and then it came to an end. Because on February 28th in 1911, that was the darkest day in the town. That was where there was a small mysterious bit of smoke that broke out at the bottom of a 1,200-foot shaft of the Belmont mine. And that was at 7 in the morning, and a number of men had already gone below before they realized the seriousness of the situation.
Well, this right here is the Morjevich, I think I'm saying that correctly. Both died on June 20th, 1907. One brother was trying to save the other brother in an ore car mining accident at the mine. And what had happened is the ore car had a bad handle on it. One of them jumped onto the car, tried to stop it, fell over and got ran over. When the other brother tried to save him, he then was ran over by the car, taken to the hospital, and died that evening. Tragic story, but those are tragic mine stories. That's what happens in the gold mines and the silver mines in these areas. These tragic stories as to why people are laid to rest. Now in April 1906, this is where the sheriff was put. Thomas Logan was shot in the red light district after his 3rd term in office and laid to rest right here on top of the hill in the cemetery.
And the history in these old towns and some of the events, some happy, some sad. So one thing to remember is a clown will always put a smile on your face, as long as it's not a creepy clown. We hope you enjoyed this adventure to Tonopah, and until the next one, goodbye from Weekend Escapades.